for joining me here. Leo Bray coming to you on behalf of Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center in Palm Springs. This is not Palm Springs. This is Cozumel. On Zoom. See you in the park this week. So visit us online at Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center on Facebook or at urbanyoga.org to check out the class schedule and visit the tip jar where you can make contributions to support our student classes.
Leo, I can barely hear you now.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. Let's see what I might do about that. Let me check my audio controls here.
The sound is really far away.
Okay, let's see. And is your sound turned up all the way on your device, Andrew?
Yes, it is. All the way up.
Okay, well, I can speak louder. Is that better now? If I speak up?
Yes, a little better, right.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll be
And I'm going to mute myself.
Okay, thank you. I'll talk louder. Always good to know these things. I'm one of 6 children, so I can get loud as needed and be heard. So we'll start out today in a seated posture. You don't have to sit the way I'm sitting. Sit so that you're comfortable, and you might even choose to kneel instead of sitting. That's fine too. Some people like to start kneeling instead of sitting. Feel wherever you're touching the ground, just feel that grounding contact. Accept that support. Let your body settle. Think about the length of your spine. Maybe think of the crown of your head rising when you breathe in and your feet grounding down when you breathe out. Close your eyes if you want to and just notice your breath. Just by noticing your breath, paying attention to it, it will get deeper and slower. All it takes is shifting your attention to get this started. Coming to stillness helps. Becoming quieter helps. Taking in the movements of your breathing and the sensations that come with those movements. Notice where you feel the inhales, where you feel the exhales. And beyond that, notice whatever else is going on in your body right now. Maybe scan your body, head to toe. Take in whatever sensations are present. Maybe there are some sensations you detect that are not linked to the movement of your breath. Notice whatever there is to notice. And especially notice if anything doesn't feel good here. If you've got any stiffness or soreness going on, make note of it so you can keep it in mind as we practice, remembering that you can skip or modify anything you like to take care of yourself and accommodate whatever's going on for you today. And maybe in addition to these shared intentions, you are in the practice of setting a personal intention for yourself, just for your practice. If so, you could do that now. Let that come together and sink in. Let's take 3 deep cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through your mouth with a sigh. Let your eyes open up if they're still closed. Let's start right from the top with our neck. Let your chin come down towards your chest. Take your time to make some circles. Roll your ear towards your shoulder and let your head tip back. Roll your other ear towards your other shoulder. Continuing in slow, easy circles. And I'm just going to make a couple equipment adjustments while you do that. I don't know if anyone had their eyes open there before we took our 3 cleansing breaths, but a bird flew right between where the laptop's set up for the broadcast and where my phone is set up to keep time for me. So I'm moving that phone into a safer spot and grabbing new sunglasses. Is that I may see you on my screen. Change the direction of circles. Maybe you already did while I was messing around with equipment. And when you finish the next circle, lift your chin. Let's just look forward again. And take some seated cow and cat movements. Inhale, bring your heart forward, let your head tip back. Exhale, bring your heart back, let your head tip forward and down. And just follow your breath. We don't have to go at the same pace. Even if you want to, sometimes with Zoom, pacing is tricky because there could be a little lag. So it's okay if you're exhaling when I inhale. Any variant, maybe your breaths are longer than mine, maybe they're shorter. More important to follow your breath than to try to sync up with me, whether you're live or doing this later on a video on YouTube. And then let's start to make some circles. So the next time you inhale, go to one side as you come forward. As you exhale, go to the other side as you go back. Try to lead with your heart, not your head. Try not to let your head flop around too much. You can tweak your neck. You can also tip over. So maybe try to keep your whole seat on the floor. Try not to let either of the sitting bones lift away from the ground. So maybe that makes smaller circles to stay grounded at center, and smaller circles are fine. Now let's make some in the other direction. Change when you're ready, when you like. And when you finish the next circle, let's sit up nice and tall again. Bring your hands out to the sides. Rest just your fingertips on the floor so you stay nice and long in your spine. Inhale, reach your left arm up alongside your ear. As you exhale, reach across to the right. Feel for length from your left hip up through your left fingertip. And try not to let the right shoulder hike up towards your ear. See, I just made that adjustment with my hand to my arm because my shoulder's up like that. I want this one down as this one's up. Inhale to bring yourself upright. As you exhale, let's come into a twist. Bring the left hand to the ground behind you. Bring the right hand to your left leg. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Exhale, invite your body to twist some more. And just do this for each breath. See how much twist feels like enough for each side. Each one might be different. Let yourself unwind and come back through center. Inhale, reach your right arm up alongside your ear. And as you exhale, reach across to your left. Lean into your left hand. Feel for length from your right hip. Inhale to come up. As you come into that twist. Then inhale, lengthen up again. Exhale, invite your body to twist a bit more. Not forcing, not pushing, asking your body how much twist it would like. Let yourself unwind and come back to center. And let's come up onto our hands and knees. Plant your hands. Open your hands way up so you feel your whole palms on the floor. And bring your shoulders above your wrists and your hips above your knees. Bring your heart forward, let your head and tail go up. Exhale, bring your heart up, let your head and tail come down. And just follow your breath like we did when we did it from a seated position. And after your next exhale, come back to table with your back sort of parallel to the floor. Reach back, press into the ball of your right foot. Feel your heel move away from your tailbone as your leg lengthens out. Relax the pressure on you. Sweep that foot out to the side. Bring your foot in line with your hip. Just let it come to rest there. And starting with really small movements, we're going to rock here. Exhale, sit back towards your heel just a little. And inhale, glide forward again. Be mindful of the sensation on this inner thigh, the extended leg. That's the spot that's easiest to overdo the movement. Maybe the movement grows a little bigger, maybe not so much. Again, we're finding out what your body would like from this type of movement. Your body's not my body. Everybody's different. And next time you come forward with your shoulders above your wrist, just stop with the rocking, explore something else here. Now walk your hands forward. This is going to be like downward dog in the upper body. Let your head come down between your arms. Then walk your hands over to the left, about a foot. Give a little push into your hands like you want to send your left hip 2 inches towards your left heel. Just a bit. And take your time. Walk your hands back to center line. And then back in under your shoulders. Sweep the foot back behind. Bring that knee down again. Let's take 3 cow-cat breaths before we do that on the other side. And maybe even with these cat-cows, you can feel some difference in your hip and lower back. Right side might move a little more freely than the left here already. Come back to table, reach back, press into the ball of your left foot, take a couple nice long breaths. Relax the pressure on your foot slowly, slide it out to the side. Remember to start out small. Exhale, sit back a little. Inhale, come forward. And just feel it out. So for me, this side's tighter. This left leg is tighter. Right on that spot I said to be mindful of, the inner thigh. So I'm going a little more gently here, maybe a little more slowly. And I think the movement's not quite as big. This side doesn't want to go as far, so I'm not going to try to make it and strain something. Couple more breaths with this rocking. And then stopping with shoulders above wrist. Walk your hands forward. Let your head come down between your arms. Walk your hands about a foot to the right and give that little push into your hands. Send your right hip up, up. 2 inches towards your right heel. Walk your hands on back to center and back in underneath your shoulders. Sweep that foot back behind you and bring your knee down. And take 3 cow-cat breaths. While I straighten my mat. I slid my mat out of line. That's going to make for a disorienting video presentation. Every practice space has its quirks. So let's step the right foot up between the hands. Bring your hands to your knee or your thigh and press yourself up. So your torso's upright, shoulders above hips. Now let's check out some alignment here as I wobble and almost fall. Some alignment things that can help us stay steady. Front knee above front ankle, back hip above back knee, and the back leg behind the knee. And if you still feel wobbly after you get that all settled, maybe make some more space. You can keep one or both hands on your knee. Exhale, sink forward in your hips. Inhale, come back and just go as far as it feels all right. And if you want, we can add an arm movement here. Maybe one arm floating down as you come forward and up as you come back, or maybe both arms if you like. Exhale and inhale. You could always grab that leg if you start to wobble too much. And then from the top of the movement, we'll take some twists. Reach your right hand forward, left hand back. Here too, the front hand can always come to the leg for steadiness anytime if we start to wobble too much. Back to center, hands to heart, steadying, and twist to the right. Come back to center. Bring your hands down to frame the front foot, and we'll just switch legs. Step your right knee back under you. Step your left foot up between those hands. Bring your hands to your knee or thigh. Press up, lift your torso, and find your steadiness here before we begin with the rocking forward back and lifting and lowering arms. When you're steady, tripping on my tongue, start. Exhale, sink forward. Inhale, glide back. And maybe one side moves more freely than the other. Give each side what it wants. Never forcing. It's okay to gently probe any resistance, extend the boundaries of the comfort zone. But nothing drastic, nothing sudden. Back away from pain, if there's any pain. Here's a treat. We might see some hummingbirds show up on camera. They're drinking from some overhead vines here on the terrace. At the top of the movement, let's twist to the right. Good. Come back to center and twist to the left. Come back to center. Bring your hands down. Maybe just rest your fingertips on the floor. And let's step the right foot forward and come to a forward fold. Let your head and your arms be heavy and sway back and forth. Bend and straighten your legs. Maybe a little, maybe a lot. What do your legs want? Take your time to feel it out. Your hands might be touching the ground or hanging in the air, resting on your shins. Maybe folding your elbows, whichever of those feels best to you. Nice and slowly shake your head no, and nod your head yes. And inhale, lift up halfway, press your hands to the front of your legs and push. Feel for the crown of your head moving forward away from your tailbone as your arms press against your legs. Exhale, relax down, keeping your knees soft so let your legs do more work than your back. Inhale, roll to standing, bring your hands overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Let your hands hang at your sides. Lift your left shoulder towards your ear. Shift it back. Let it down. And your right shoulder up, then back, then down. Inhale, reach for the wall. As you exhale, reach for your shoulder blades and hug yourself. Or if you like, you might take eagle arms here. Intertwine your arms. Press your palms together. Inhale, open your arms. As you exhale, cross the other way. Reach for your shoulder blades or take eagle again. Inhale, open up. And exhale, let your arms come down. Inhale your arms out and up overhead. Interlace your fingers and flip your palms up. Look up at your hands, lift up your heart. Inhale to bring yourself upright. As you exhale, bend to the right. Feel the leg through both arms. Try not to lift your left heel. Inhale, come upright again. As you exhale, bend to the left and try to keep your right heel grounded. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, let your arms come down. We'll start some sun salutations. I'll face this way, give you a better view. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold down. Plant your hands and step back to a plank. And I like to take a few breaths in the first plank, letting the hips come down in line with the shoulders and heels. Or if you're going for a shorter plank with the knees down, hips come down in line with shoulders and knees. You can do a shorter plank anytime we're in plank, whatever suits you. Then exhale, slowly lower all the way down. Keep your elbows in close, finding strength in the slowness. Press into your hands. Inhale, lift your head and chest. Maybe just a little. Listen to your low back and go as high as you like. Exhale, rock back up onto your hands and knees. Curl your toes under. Press into your feet to lift your knees. Press into your hands to lift your tail. Find your first downward facing dog and walk that dog. Pedal your feet up and down for a few breaths here. Continuing to find length in the back of your body. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, tiptoe forward. Bring your feet up to your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale up. Exhale, down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, down. Plant your hands and step back to your plank. And maybe this time, exhale, lower halfway down. You can go all the way if you want. Inhale to bring your heart forward. Exhale, back and up to downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step your feet forward, pardon me. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, down. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Taking a sip of water. Or take a sip of water anytime you need one. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, pull down. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, pull down. Step back to your plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, bring your heart forward. Exhale, back and up. And in downward facing dog, let's take 3 of those cleansing breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth with a sigh. Let your knees down. We'll take child's pose. Take a little rest. Bring your big toes together. Maybe send your knees further apart. If your knees are sensitive, you might keep them closer together. Sit back towards your heels. You can watch them down to the floor. If you're right, reach the floor. You might stack your hands, the forehead on your hands. You might feel like your shoulders and arms disengage more by reaching your hands back by your feet instead of reaching them forward. And just notice what your breath does in the resting posture. Feeling the expansion in the upper body as you inhale. Maybe some sensation of settling back and down in the hips as you exhale. Now, if you're reaching your hands back by your feet, reach them forward again. We'll do a little variation here in our child's pose. Walk your hands over to the left. Let your head track with your arms. And then lift your right hip and send it diagonally away from those hands, like towards your right heel. Relax that hip stretch. Walk your hands back through center and over to the right. And then pick up your left hip, send it away from your hands. Doesn't have to be a big movement. Just feel that big diagonal stretch from left hip up to your left shoulder primarily. Relax and walk your hands back to center. Inhale, bring yourself forward up onto your hands and knees. And we'll do some stretching for the hands and the feet here. So first, curl your toes under. Walk your hands in towards your knees. You come up standing on your knees with your feet engaged. And sit back towards your heels. Now I'm saying towards. Just go as low as it feels okay for you. I sit on my heels because that's what feels okay, because I've done this a lot and my feet like when I do that. But you might be way up here. It's a lot of sensation in your feet. You can decide how much. You can even put something between your butt and your heels, a blanket, fold it up, a pillow, a yoga block if you've got yoga blocks. I'm going to spin now so you can see what I'm doing with my hands and my arms. So while we stretch the feet, we'll do some arm movements here. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, hands to heart. So we're going to focus primarily on the hands and the wrists while we stretch the feet here. Reach your left hand forward with your palm up and do 1 breath per finger. Take hold of your pinky finger with your right hand. Inhale, gently draw out. And exhale, gently draw it down, opening your palm and your wrist. Go to the next finger, do 1 breath per finger. Inhale, we draw it out. Exhale, we gently draw it down. Whatever degree of movement feels okay in your wrist, in your hand. If your hand doesn't do what mine does, that's okay. Your hand is not my hand. Maybe you haven't done this as much as I have. The first time I did this, I think my fingers didn't move this much. After you do the thumb, you guessed it, we go to the other hand. Start with that pinky. Inhale and exhale. One breath per digit. And after we do the second thumb, we're going to free up our feet. And then comes the best part, the counter pose to the foot stretch. Is just about the best thing ever in my book. Spins, you can see my feet, and I almost fall over. So tip forward onto your hands, uncurl your toes, and then you bang your feet on the ground. And you don't have to bang your feet as hard as I am. Do what you want with your feet. Of course, the surface you're on might change how hard you want to bang your feet. If we're indoor on carpeting, I might bang my feet harder. Let's curl the toes under, press into the feet to lift the knees, press into the hands and lift the tail. And don't worry, now we're going to come out of downward dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Halfway, exhale, inhale, roll to standing, hands up overhead. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. We'll play with some standing balances now. If you know balance is tricky for you and you want to step over by the wall or over by a chair, something you can grab onto as we play with standing on one leg or seeing about standing on one leg. Maybe you keep both feet on the floor. Different ways to do these things. So with one or both hands at your heart, you can keep one hand on the wall of the furniture the whole time. Set your eyes on something straight ahead, something that won't move. And shift your weight from one leg to the other with your feet on the floor, rocking in the hips, kind of reminding each leg that it can take all the weight if needed, or most of the weight. Bring the weight into your right leg. Let that knee stay soft and bouncy. Turn your left toes out so your feet are perpendicular. And we start to lift the heel. So first might be a kickstand foot, heel on the ankle, ball of the foot on the ground. That could be tree pose right there. Maybe the sole of your foot nests against your calf. Maybe the sole of your foot comes to your thigh. You just don't want to press sideways on your knee. So it's better to stay on your calf than push your knee on the wrong axis. Can really mess up your knee that way. And your hands can stay where they are, or the branches of your tree can go anywhere you like. That one hand can always grab onto your support if you're using support. Check in with your gaze. Set your eyes on something that won't move. It's natural, of course, in the Zoom class to want to look at the teacher. True in a live class as well. You bring your eyes back to something that's not moving. Make sure you're breathing. All the trees need air regardless of what their roots and branches are doing. And you can put your foot down anytime and pick it up again. Beautiful. Bring your hands back to your heart if they're elsewhere. Pivot your knee forward and let your foot down. Let's shake that right leg. Shake anything you want. Maybe shake the left leg. Maybe shake your booty and do a little dance. I like to do a little dance. I like to shake my face. Oh, that's dangerous. Almost make my expensive headset fall off. Okay, I won't shake my face when I'm wearing this thing. Bring your hands back to your heart. Shift back and forth. Don't want to make any expensive mistakes. This is the new headset because the even pricier one that was a few years old was chewed up by my dog. So I don't want to go dropping this one and breaking it. When you're ready, bring the weight into your left leg. Turn your right toes out. And start to move your foot up. See where it wants to be. Maybe it doesn't end up in the same position as the other side. But just sharing my own experience as I come into this one and I start to fall, this knee is bothering me. So I'm not going to try to put this foot on my thigh because that's going to bend the knee more. I'm going to stay right here because my knee says, please don't do that. Listening to my body and taking a different expression in the legs. You could do whatever you want with your arms. I do this mine because it feels good in my back. You might do the same thing you did before. You might do something else. Wherever your foot is, you always want this knee tracking out to the side. Sometimes I check in with my knee. Just bring the hand down there and see what's going on. And you don't have to stay in the same position. Maybe you play around with other binds, other tree shapes. Lean forward, let your foot down, and shake things out. I think I heard something that indicates a glitch with my technology. Yeah. Okay. Geez, maybe I made them nervous when I shook my head. Suddenly my headphones start talking. Let's play with one more balancing posture here. Now here too, you could also use the wall or a chair. You could use yoga blocks if you have some. I'm just going to bring a chair to the mix here. I didn't bring yoga blocks up to the terrace today. If you have yoga blocks, you could stand them up on the tall setting, shoulder width apart, about a foot in front of your feet. How about that? And you could start right there with your hands on your blocks and lift one leg up. Think of making a footprint on the wall behind you. So you could also do it with one hand on the chair and one hand at your heart. And you can play around. Maybe both hands come to your heart, maybe just a little, or maybe the whole time. Grab your blocks or your chair or your wall. Or if you're steady enough to not grab, you might play with reaching out behind you or to the sides or out in front of you. You can always come back and grab, hey, look, there's another chair I can reach. You can always come back and grab something. And anytime, you might lower your foot and pick it up again, just as we did with our tree pose. Make sure you're breathing, just as important in Warrior 3 here as it is in tree. Think of your body being parallel to the ground. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I know mine tipped past that, and I just made a little adjustment, and maybe now it's parallel, maybe it still isn't. Just thinking of extension. We're opening the front of the hip in the raised leg. That's the goal here. Exhale, lower the foot. Inhale, slowly stand. And shake again. The shaking is good between doing one side and the other. And when you're ready, just show another way you could use this. You might just have your chair in front of you. Drop the weight into the other leg and lift up behind you. So you could do it like that too and actually be up higher. There's lots of different ways to do these things. Some folks like to hold their shin with their hand. If you press your hands to your sternum and to each other the whole time, that can be nicely steadying, just drawing energy to the midline, keeping hands and arms engaged a bit. Find your breath if you're holding your breath. If you stopped breathing, if all you're human, if you get up, you're a yogi. That's what my friend Becky Thompson always says. Becky's the first teacher who inspired me to think about doing this work. Exhale, lower your foot. Inhale, slowly stand. And shake as needed. And you're getting a little extra noise in the mic. That's a little breeze that I'm welcoming. Sorry for the noise. And we'll come down and have a seat. Grab a drink on the way if you like. You get those hard-working legs a break now. Extend your legs out in front of you and flex your feet back towards you. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold down over your legs. If your knees want to bend, let them bend. And see what the action of the breathing can do to help deepen the fold. When you inhale, think of the crown of your head reaching forward. When you exhale, think of lowering down some more. So maybe they're just thoughts, or maybe there's a little movement, a little deepening of the fold, a little more release back here in the lower back. Inhale, slowly walk your hands up the front of your legs and sit yourself up. Change my view here. Now let your arms help your legs. You want to open the legs to whatever degree is okay for you. Maybe your legs go further than mine. Maybe they don't go as far. Let your arms keep helping your legs. Let's bend the left leg and bring the left foot over by the right thigh or right knee. And tip your chest in at your right foot and flex that right foot towards you. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold over that right leg. And again, see if your breath will maybe deepen your fold. Inhaling, think of coming forward. Exhaling, think of lowering down. And explore some more from here. Keep your left hand where it is and reach your right arm out to the side. Turn your head, look towards your hand. Rotate your hand so your thumb points down. Bend your elbow and bring the back of your hand towards your left hip. Maybe it's at your sacrum, maybe it's at your hip, maybe it's in between. And peel that right shoulder back. Extend your arm again, undo that rotation. Bring that right hand back over by the left hand. Reach your left arm to the side. Turn your head towards your hand. Turn your thumb down. Bend your elbow. Bring the back of your hand to your low back towards your opposite hip. Peel your left shoulder back. Extend your arm. Turn your thumb up. Reach your arm up alongside your ear, overhead towards the other arm. Somewhat similar to our seated side bend we did earlier. Really targeting compression in the center of the low back here, an area that gets compressed when we've been sitting a lot. Reach your arm up, back out to the side, and just swing it across through center line. Bring your left hand back over by your right, and walk your hand up the front of that right leg. Other side, so let your arms help your legs. Extend your left leg. Bend your right leg and bring your foot over. Pivot, aim your sternum at your left foot. Flex your left foot towards you. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold down. Spend a couple of breaths seeing if that fold may deepen a bit. Head towards your hand. Rotate, turn your thumb down, bring your low hand towards your right hip and peel your left shoulder back. Extend your arm again, undo that rotation of your hand, sweep that hand back over by your right hand. Then sweep your right hand out to the side, turn your head, look for your hand, turn your thumb down, bend your elbow, bring the back of your hand towards your left hip and peel your right shoulder back. Extend your arm, turn your thumb up, reach your arm up alongside your right ear and overhead as if you want to grab that left foot. Reach your arm up and out to the side, swing it back across, walk both hands up the front of your leg. 2 more folds and it's time to lie down. Let your arms help your legs. Extend the right leg, nudge those legs towards each other and bring the soles of your feet to touch a good distance away from you. So there's this large space between your heels and your pelvis. If there's room to do so, slide your hands under your ankles and grab the floor. If not, go over your ankles and grab the floor. Walk your hands forward using traction in the arms to come down into this pretzel shape. Let your neck disengage and your head bow. Breathe into the center of your lower back, spot right above your sacrum. Slowly walk your hands back and press up from the floor to sit up. Now last fold, keeping the feet together, draw your heels right in as close as you can to your pelvis. Interlace your fingers and grab the tops of your toes. Wriggle on your seat to bring the bones in your seat closer to the floor and tilt your pelvis forward. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of your head. As you exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward with your spine long at first. When the long spine isn't lowering anymore, let your neck go, let your head drop, and breathe into your hips. Inhale, slowly sit yourself up. Use your arms, bring your hands outside your knees, push your knees up towards each other, bring the soles of your feet to rest on the floor. Put your hands together like this and put them between the tops of your feet so you set your feet this far apart. This is about the same distance between your 2 hip sockets. So now our ankles and hips will be lined up. Shifting for camera, scoot towards your heels, plant your hands behind you, come onto your forearms and onto your back. So you wind up lying on your back, soles of the feet planted, heels as close to your butt as they'll go. And press into the soles of your feet. Inhale to lift your hips up to come to bridge pose. If you want further opening here in the heart, you can wiggle your shoulder blades towards each other under you. Clasp your hands and reach your knuckles towards your heels. Make sure your neck's relaxed. You don't want to scrunch up your neck whether you're doing the bind or not. If you're clasping your hands, unclasp them. Exhale slowly, let your hips down. And explore the movement and bridge for a minute on your own. Inhale to lift your hips. And exhale to lower them. Challenge yourself as you like to make it more challenging. Move more slowly. See about going higher or adding extra breaths at the top. So to make it less challenging, what do? We can take extra breaths at the bottom. Maybe don't try to go higher or go slower. Let the breath of the movement be as smooth and continuous as you can. Continuous, of course. So take what you need, whatever bridge you need, whatever bridge your body wants. What speed and degree of movement feels good. And the next time you exhale and lower down, let that be the last one, and just pause after you land. And cross your left ankle above your right knee. Make a figure four shape with your legs. Reach your arms out to the sides. Feel your shoulder blades pressed against the floor. Let's keep those shoulders on the floor. Right legs fall to the right and turn your head to the left. Don't worry about how far your legs go. Slowly bring your head and your legs back up to center. And let's switch the legs. Plant your left foot. Cross your right ankle above your left knee. Let your legs fall to the left and turn your head to the right. Come on back up to center. Uncross your legs. Draw your knees towards your chest. Hug your knees. Rock and roll on your back. Massage your back against the floor. Using whatever movements feel good for you. Reach your feet up towards the ceiling. Reach your hands up. Take hold of your legs or your feet, however you want. Play with bending and straightening your arms and legs. Exploring movement in happy baby pose. can invert for as long as you like. When you feel complete, make your way to your final resting pose. Maybe that's Shavasana, corpse pose, with your legs extended, feet splayed open, hands resting out past your hips. But maybe that's not comfortable. If this isn't comfortable to you, get comfortable, whatever that looks like for you. If this doesn't feel good in the low back, one option is to plant the soles of your feet, let your knees lean towards each other a bit. That could take the pressure out of your lower back. You might let your knees out. You're going to tuck under the outsides of your legs to make it more passive. This gives some support back, also some nice hip opening. You might come over by a chair or other piece of furniture over by the wall and rest your legs up on that support and conclude practice by continuing to invert. Any posture where you can be comfortably still for some minutes of quiet breathing, absorbing the benefits of your practice. Sometimes I like to read a little something while you're in Shavasana. You're welcome to just focus on your breathing or recall an intention you'd set for yourself, or to just allow your mind to detach and drift. Maybe you tune me out and you don't hear this, and that's okay too. So, suggested reflection for you to tune into or tune out. Today, try this. If you feel sad or afraid or feel a tension in your body, just for a moment, stop trying to let go. Forget about raising your vibration too. Instead, simply be with the discomfort. Get curious about it. Soften around it. Breathe into it. Give it space, room, some time. Forget about understanding, releasing, or fixing it today, and just allow it to be here for as long as it needs to be here. Let it stay if it wants to stay. Let it go if it wants to go. Let it come back if it wants to come back. Treat it like a welcome guest in the vast rest home of your being, a beloved child that truly belongs. Start to find some deeper breath. Let your body begin to move around bit by bit, allowing your movements to gradually grow bigger and bigger, moving mindfully and gently, knowing there is no rush. When you're ready, take your time to sit yourself up. If you like, you can bring your hands up by your heart. Thank you for sharing this practice this morning. The light within me sees and bows to that same light in each of you. Namaste. I always allow time for questions and feedback, and that goes for the folks on YouTube later, but let me just do the business stuff again. I'm Leo Bray with Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center. We have classes every day of the week. Check us out at urbanyoga.org or and Olson's Urban Yoga Center on Facebook to see the class schedule. Visit the tip jar. Have a wonderful day.